Well, are you stressed out? If you're not alone if you are. Health reporter Rosemarie Beltz has more in the studio tonight. Rose?
Well, it turns out Americans are stressed out. According to Gallup's annual stress, worry, and anger poll, the U.S. ties for fourth place out of more than 100 nations when it comes to stress. 55% of Americans say they experience stress during a large part of their day. That's the highest level ever recorded by Gallup. Younger Americans were stressed the most. People under stress sometimes overindulge on comfort foods that are high in sugar and fat. But researchers have discovered eating a high-calorie diet while under stress results in more weight gain than eating the same diet while being stress-free. The study in the journal Cell Metabolism says stress eating can speed the development of obesity. President Donald Trump is urging Americans to get vaccinations to prevent the spread of measles. Speaking to reporters at the White House today, he said that people have to get their shots. He also added that vaccinations are so important. Measles in the U.S. has climbed to its highest level in 25 years, largely attributed to misinformation that is turning parents against vaccines. But Mr. Trump has previously cast doubt on vaccinations. He tweeted several times in 2012 and again in 2014, wrongly suggesting a link between vaccines and autism in children. Hundreds of students and staff at two Southern California universities are quarantined. Health officials are trying to avoid a possible measles outbreak. UCLA and California State University issued orders after two confirmed cases. Nichelle Medina has the latest from the UCLA campus.
Officials at UCLA say a student contagious with measles attended classes for 3 days earlier this month, potentially putting hundreds at risk.
It's crazy to see that that's happening in a place that I spend time studying. I think it was supposed to be eradicated.
The university says 76 students and 6 faculty members who were exposed are being quarantined until they can prove their immunity.
You need to stay at a specified location, and you need to stay there until such time that you are deemed as not likely to come down with the disease.
That could be anywhere from 24 hours to 7 days. UCLA officials say they've arranged for those quarantined students to be cared for right here on campus. A similar scene is playing out on the campus of California State University in Los Angeles. A contagious student who used the campus library may have exposed hundreds. About 150 students and library workers could not provide immunization records.
They say they have 2,000 visitors in that library a day. Most of them don't sign in or out. So we've had a lot of exposure to folks that we actually can't identify.
The quarantines come as the number of measles cases nationwide is at a 25-year high, 695 cases in 2019 so far. Today, President Trump, who has tweeted more than 30 times against vaccination, endorsed the MMR vaccine.
They have to get the shot. The vaccinations are so important. This is really going around now. They have to get their shot.
Both UCLA and Cal State LA say the buildings affected no longer pose a threat to students. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, the month of April is Alcohol Awareness Month, a time to increase awareness and understanding of alcohol addiction it causes.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention So April is Alcohol Awareness Month. It's a time to increase awareness and understanding of alcohol addiction, its causes, effective treatment, and recovery. So to learn more about this topic, medical reporter Rosemarie Beltz joins us. So Rose, what is alcohol addiction? What causes it?
Well, first I want to pinpoint, kind of bring attention to the fact that, alcoholism, it looks right. We think we have an idea of what alcoholism looks like, right? We watch TV, we see somebody with, a brown paper bag, unfortunately we have this stereotype of what alcoholism looks like. But the reality is that high functioning alcoholics, it could be anybody. It could be somebody you work with, a loved one, just anybody that you come in contact with. So just kind of wanted to put that stigma out of the way.
What are some of the health complications caused by or associated with alcoholism?
Well, okay, so alcoholism, it can present in many different ways. It really looks different. It really depends on, the amount, not even so much the amount. Doctors are trying to get away from the amount of somebody drinks. It's more or less looking at behaviors. Does somebody binge drink or do they drink all day? So, and they really don't know what causes some of this. They're trying to pinpoint. They pinpoint it to genetics, socioeconomics, race. So these are some of the things that there really is no cause. And just looking at the statistics, the alarming statistics that I found, about 266,000 South Carolinians actually suffer some form of addiction, which is quite unsettling, which could lead to some of those health problems that I was talking about, these long-term chronic, whether it's heart disease, liver disease, cancer, and also these short-term problems, suicide, homicide, and so forth.
So one of the bigger, I guess, go-tos, especially I see it among college students or people who don't get enough sleep, they go to these energy drinks. How do those kind of play a part in this topic?
Right, so alcohol and stimulants are a really bad combination. And there's all different kinds of stimulants, where there's caffeine and these herbal-like stimulants. Alcohol is a depressant. And then the caffeine and these stimulants sort of depress that. So you're not less intoxicated. You might be more alert, but you're still impaired. So therefore you might drink more, right? So now we have these long-term health effects now that, you're increasing your level of alcohol in your system, and this over time can be really, really dangerous. And then you can actually participate in risky behavior. Once again, going back to some of those behaviors. So you're not less intoxicated.
We're running out of time. I
Okay.
want to know if somebody's watching and needs help or knows someone who needs help, what can they do?
It's very complicated and it's a lifelong situation. So, you just want to, but there are resources out there, whether they're behavioral support groups and things like that. And always check in with your medical provider because they might know something locally that you can turn to, but it's very complicated and sensitive.
Rosemarie, as always, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
All right, up